Texas Peer Support Specialists present Transportation, Building the Life You Want. Transportation gets you where you need to go. You might need to go to work, to school, to a volunteer job. As you watch this presentation, think about where you need or want to go, how getting there will help you build a better life, what kind of transportation might be right for you. We asked our peer support specialists how they use transportation to get around.
I have my own car. I got it 2 years ago. Before I had my car, I was relying on other people to take me. But now that's just another skill I gained and I love it.
I have like different methods of transportation. One is on my bicycle. I like to ride my bicycle. And also I use the paratransit if I need to go somewhere across town. And also if I need to go to the store or something. Or even the big bus. Especially when, like for example, like one of my grocery store I go to usually is that it's not far from my apartment. I could just walk a half a mile from my apartment to the bus stop, catch the bus, and get what I need and go back home.
One thing that I use is Uber, and I also use A&M bus systems.
We asked why transportation is important in their lives.
Yes, it's important to me because I can go where I want, when I want, and I can go do whatever I want and not have to worry about people being in a hurry. I can just go on my time.
I think one of the ways it helps me is to go places I've never been before. Like if I like, for example, like I go to my doctor's appointments because my doctor's appointment is not in this part of the town. I have to go to the north side of San Antonio to help me to go to the doctors and do what I need to do, like check my diabetes and all the things with me, see how I'm doing. And if I didn't have that, it would be very, very hard for me. Like if I need to catch the big bus or ride my bike, it would be too many transfers and also I'm not a big bicycle person to ride my bike on the streets because I want to be safe and sorry. And also I like to hang out with friends. Like I want to go to dinner or have lunch with them. The other opportunity is that I could go to a place I like to race my cars because I usually meet my friend Scott at the track. And me and Scott and the other guys race our cars around the track and having a good time.
What I like to do, I just like to sit around, explore around San Antonio. So when I get involved with San Antonio, that's what I do. I'm learning to be independent and go out to be in public sightseeing around San Antonio. That's why I have social time riding the bus. So when I want to do learning to go out of my real world, so I like to see what's like to be out in the studies. So when I get out of my own, that's what I like to do for fun. That's a hobby. I like to ride buses.
We asked how they got the transportation services they use.
So it was after college because I was kind of scared at first to get my license, but then when you see all your friends driving, you want to start driving. So I worked through the process, and I had supports help me get my permit, and then I took my driver's test with a guy who works with people with IDD. So that was very easy, and then I passed it, and my parents got me my first car.
For example, with the paratransit thing, I had to apply in 2010 when I moved to San Antonio, Texas, because everyone had to apply and to be certified if they have a disability or not. And also they want you to do other things about what the rules are, like if you have a disability, and to tell what type of disability you have, and also do a test for them and to see if you qualify.
So for A&M bus systems, because I still have my A&M bus pass, I'm able to catch it when it gets to the Blinn College. When it comes to Uber, I downloaded the Uber app on my phone.
We asked if anyone told them they could not get or use transportation services.
So my eye doctor and my neurologist went at it for years, saying no, 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 no. And I kept saying yes, yes, yes. But we didn't want to override my doctors, but ultimately it's my life. And so I'm going to do what I want, if it's safe for me, that is. So finally, I got both of my doctors to agree, but it took years of convincing them that I was capable. So yes, people have told me no, but I tell them yes, and I do it.
Nobody didn't tell me to ride the bus, but I got experience riding the bus when I was a kid. I started riding the buses when I was about 15 years old. I started riding when I was still living up north. That was in Waco. My first public transportation is in Waco, Texas. I asked my dad or my mom. I got permission with them. I love to ride the bus because I want to be independent, so I can get out on my own someday. So learning to be courtesy to be independent, higher functioning.
We asked what challenges they had getting or using transportation.
Yes, there are a ton of challenges. In the very beginning, I went too slow, and it kind of scared some people riding with me and scared myself. But now I feel like I have gotten better. I hit a big challenge this week, finding out my vision's getting worse. So I'm having to cut back on my driving and having to go back to rely on people to drive me places. But that's just another challenge I will overcome.
I have an interesting adventure. I remember back in my early days at the group home, I think it was June or July, was that I took the first city bus, and they didn't have no one to teach people how to catch the bus, where you need to go, and go back where you came from. And I caught the bus on the way back home, and I did not realize how long the bus services serve, and I didn't know how long they serve, and it was my mistake. I should ask, but the driver stopped at the last stop and say, I don't know where I'm at. I need to be closer to a hospital, nearby a hospital. I know mostly that my landmark, more about where I need to go from there to the group home where I was living. And the guy took the extra step to took me all the way to from the last stop because part of his route was going to the hospital, and I did not realize it was the last stop, another part of the town of Tulsa. And he made an effort to help me to get where I need to go. And I was very grateful.
We asked how transportation can help people with IDD build the lives they want.
These transportation services can help people get more independence and get where they want to go without asking for help.
Transportation services can help so much, and especially if you have your own, like I was saying, you can go where you want, when you want, but also there's different transportation like carpool. That's so fun. If you have friends, that's super fun to go with them. But I feel like people with IDD do not need to be limited to depending on other people for the rest of their lives, because it, like I did, it's your life. Do what you want. So go for it.
You've learned how your peers use transportation. You might wonder, what transportation services might help me? How can I get them? That depends on how you get services. On a waiver, on an interest list, or by yourself. A waiver helps people with IDD live in their home and community. There are many waivers in Texas. Each has different services. For example, community living assistance and support services, deaf-blind with multiple disabilities, medically dependent children program, home and community services, Star Plus home and community-based services, and Texas Home Living. To learn more about waivers, search online for Texas IDD waiver programs. If you are on a waiver, you should have a person-directed plan. It tells your goals for your life. It tells what services you need to reach your goals. The service you want must relate to a goal in your plan. For example, your goal might be, I want to volunteer at the library. A service might be transportation between library and home. Your service coordinator helps you get services. They might say no to a service. Ask again. Show that the service relates to a goal in your plan. Your service coordinator still might say no. If you feel they are treating you unfairly, make a complaint. The person you complain to is the Ombudsman. Search online for Texas HHS Ombudsman. Your waiver might not offer the service. You might have other options. Can you get a special transit pass for people with disabilities? Can you use paratransit? An interest list is a wait list for Medicaid waivers. You might be on an interest list. Lots of people are waiting for waivers. Many are on an interest list. This is the same thing as a wait list. You can apply for services while you wait for a waiver. Contact your local IDD authority. This is sometimes called a LIDA. Search online for Texas LIDA list. Tell the local IDD authority what services you need and why. For example, I want to volunteer at the library. I need transportation between the library and home. The local IDD authority should help you. If they will not help you, you can make a complaint. The person you complain to is the Ombudsman. Search online for Texas HHS Ombudsman. When you are not on a waiver or an interest list, you can get services by yourself. You might not be on a Medicaid waiver or on an interest list. There are still ways to get services you need. Ask other people with disabilities how they get services. For example, friends and peers, people you go to school or work with, people you know from other activities. Ask people who work with people with disabilities. For example, teachers and school staff, organizations like the ARC and Easter Seals, advocacy groups like Texas Advocates. Ask your local transit provider. This is a town, county, or state agency. Look for an agency that serves your town or city. Search online for Texas Transit Authority list. Some agencies have programs for people with disabilities. You might have to apply for the service, and you might need to renew it each year. We hope our peer support specialists inspired you to build the life you want. We hope you have learned more about transportation. To learn more about our project, check out our YouTube channel, Self Advocate Central. Visit our website, selfadvocatecentral.org.